And while another dimension. Let's go focus, another dimension. While another dimension. You got me in another dimension. While another dimension. Happens to be one of my favorite 2022 jams. I promise you, I am not kidding you. I think I have streamed this song at least 1 million times, okay? Just myself and I. Welcome back, you're watching The Trend. And we are back with the genius behind the track. And I say this because, you know, this is one of the few songs that we have on all of our streaming platforms. We don't have even 5 jams from Kenya that are being streamed on any platform here in Kenya. That is huge. It's Dimension and then Inauma by Bien. So Bien is clearly winning. And one of the reasons is because he partnered with DJ Fully Focus on one of these most successful jams of 2022. It was pretty cool. Focus, welcome back to The Trend.
Thank you so much.
How have you been?
I've been great. Good to see you. Looking lovely.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I see we had like a black
I
theme.
know. It's a thing. It's a thing. Eh?
Yeah. You got the memo. They called you.
I got the email.
I got the email. Yeah, I like that. So you've been around for how long now?
In and out. I've been in and out of the country, doing world tours, you know, with my Passport Experience event.
Yeah.
Did the US, did Europe, did Australia, did Dubai, and now we're here.
So, but I feel like you've been here, this is the longest you've stayed.
For sure it has,
Yeah?
for sure it has. But again, because constantly in and out, but Kenya just...
It keeps pulling you back.
It just keeps pulling me, man. I love it out here.
Yeah.
Absolutely
well, welcome home.
Thank you so much.
Welcome home.
Thank
so
you.
when you come, what do you look forward to the most? Because, you know, it being home.
Yeah.
Is it a relocation thing? Are you trying to now just make Kenya your
you know, I tell people I
permanent?
chase the sun. When it's cold over there, come here. When it's cold here, go there. You know, but no, it's because when you're doing a lot of touring, it's very hard to tour this part of the world when you're living over there.
Yeah.
Same thing is very hard to tour in that part of the world when you're living here. So it just makes more sense to be here, as well as with this music project, because I was working on a music project with a lot of different African artists, it made more sense being here on the ground so I can be close, you know, in proximity.
Yeah. Is Bien the first musical project? Or is it just
No.
that has
So yeah, so
I
released I did about 4 or 5 songs between 2020 and this year, but Dimension was now the one that really popped off, that you know, went to the next level.
You said you did other jams.
Yeah,
Did you release them?
I did release them, and I'm glad we're talking about this, because you see the way music works is probably for every 10 songs you release, one will be a major hit.
That's true.
And also when I first started releasing these the records, it was at the beginning of COVID, so I didn't have that chance to be able to properly promote them, be on the ground and everything, because I actually had went for a tour and I got stuck in the US.
Yeah.
So I couldn't be able to be here on the ground to really push them. But I had to keep, you know, putting out music, and I was testing out, because you have to remember this is new ground for me, right? I started in this music business about 5 years ago, right? Even though I've been in entertainment for almost 20 years. So it was like testing things out, learning. So by the time I got this one, I knew what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done.
Because it's a really, really big record. That's crazy for you to tell me that you had other tracks.
Yeah.
And why did you wait so long? I mean, 20 years is a long time.
Yeah.
I'm imagining the music bug must have like
yeah, you have to,
bit you many years back.
Absolutely.
And you waited till the start of COVID?
Well, it wasn't necessarily waiting. So first, because I've been a DJ for the longest time, and I still am, and then eventually started doing my events and everything. It wasn't necessarily like something I said from the word go, I'm going to be an artist.
Yeah.
But it's just that when you spend so many years in front of you know, audiences, you get to understand crowd psychology, and then you're like, you know what, I think I have an idea of how to make music. But then what I had to do is surround myself with people who are better at that craft to learn from. You know, there's a saying where what is the ceiling on one level becomes the floor on the next level. You have to be willing to be a student when you're going into a new lane and not pretend you're the expert. Even if you mastered one lane, when you're going to something else, you have to be willing to be a student. So I had to be able to learn, surround myself with people who are doing really good, so that I could perfect my craft.
Yeah. Now, this is something really interesting. Bien talks about this in so many different interviews, that he gives you all the credit, okay? When he's talking about the success of Dimension, he says that, you know what, it's all focus. Like, it's not me. And for anyone who is an up-and-coming artist, I want you to listen to this part very, very carefully, okay? Now, this song just didn't come out of nowhere and hit, not because of how the beats are so good, because of how wonderfully the lyrics are written. It wasn't because of the arrangement. It was because of your efforts.
There's a
Please
lot.
take us through that.
Yeah,
Focus.
yeah. Well, first of all, I sent him the beat 2 years ago. It was actually 2 years ago when I sent it, and I kept following up, but he was, too busy, all these different things. And exactly a year ago when I landed back in Nairobi, I met up with him and I said, you have to do this song. I pushed him. Eventually he did the song. First, funny enough, we were supposed to do it at this big studio, but the studio was shut down. So we ended up going to like Ben Soul's place in the bedroom in the apartment to record.
This song was recorded in a bedroom?
Yes,
Stop.
yes. And it was a one-day session, writing, between him and Ben Soul, doing what they got to do. So when the song came out, I didn't even wait for it to be mastered, to be polished and everything. I started playing the song in front of my audiences because I have events that I host. And so while I was playing this song in front of crowds, I'd play like 3-4 times back to back. By the fourth time they're singing this song, I'm like, we have a hit. And I'd make sure they tag BN over and over.
Wait, actually, you know what's so funny is that I think BN mentioned that. He said you played it at the Alchemist.
Yes.
The song wasn't even out.
It wasn't
He just sat there and then he had the song.
Right.
And then you played it one time. He was like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah,
fine.
and so I told him to get on stage. Yeah, so I told him to get on stage, and I played it like 4 or 5 times. And by the 5th time, the crowd is singing. And I'm sure what he was saying is, I was overplaying it.
You were overplaying.
I was
you
overplaying
were killing
it.
us.
But that's the thing. If you're introducing a song,
Yeah.
you believe in something, you have to push it. But I didn't stop there. I used to go to clubs. When the song officially came out, I would go to 4 or 5 different clubs every night on Friday, Saturday, Sunday to go to the DJ booth and ask the DJs, please play my song. A lot of these DJs know who I am because of being in the industry, but I didn't let that, give me this entitlement that they were going to. I had to actually work the song. I'd go there by myself, go to the DJ booth, please play my song. Do you have it? You don't? Okay, let me send it to you right now. Take a clip, go to the next club, do that. I did that for a couple of weeks.
You're not a para. You know what a para is?
What is
a para is somebody who parties a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like a Kenyan joke. So
Yes.
you're not a para.
A para.
You don't drink.
Yes.
You're not like this smoking, just wilding out
Yes.
kind of person.
Yes.
So you're going to these clubs for work,
I'm going-
humbling yourself, introducing yourself to these DJs, and it contributed to the success. Were there times you'd go to these clubs, talk to the DJs, and they don't want to talk to you?
Well, not necessarily that they won't, but sometimes because the DJ is in the zone, he's like, I don't know where to slip this in, and so I have to wait, because that's the thing. As artists, when you're requesting your song to be played, you can't rush the DJ. So again, that's another humbling part. It's like I don't go there and say, no, play my song right now. No, give him the time to get to it, and then so I have to stay there for an hour and
Yeah.
everything just for that 5 minutes where he'll play that song. I get the clip and everything. So I did that for a couple of months, and at the same time, then I'd get on TikTok and create these videos. And I was creating them. I'm getting 2 views, 0 likes, and so on and so forth. But I didn't care. It was just creating momentum. And every time, both TikToks and Reels, doing a lot of them. And at the same time that's happening, I'm tagging BN every single time. So he's getting notifications every day, every single time about this song. So at some point, he, as he says, self-love is contagious. He starts now reposting a lot of this stuff and everything. And that's when I saw, that's what he was talking about, that he saw the power of really believing in yourself so much and putting it out there, that these songs are not going to work themselves. No matter
They're
how
not.
good of a song you make, as much as we knew it was a hit song, I had to really, really work the songs because I don't have a major label. I'm an independent artist. I have my own label, but I fund my label from the gigs that I do. I don't have anyone else funding my dreams. I have to be the one funding the dreams, and I have to be the one putting in the work to be able to, get it to pop to the public.
Yeah. Well, you've just said it right now. So you're an independent.
100%.
Where did you learn this then? I mean, it sounds like one of those things where you get into the industry,
Yeah.
you see how people are doing their work and how they're pushing their stuff,
Yeah.
and then you emulate a bit of that. Where
For
did you
sure.
then learn how?
For
Because
sure.
it's ridiculous. What do you mean Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm at the club begging people to play my song? Because as a young musician, when you think about this, you're like, but I already did the song and I did the video, and you're telling me the work begins
The
after
work
all of that?
starts from the release.
So where did you learn it? Like,
I think it's one of those things where, first of all, because I was raised by a single mother who had to do everything, I got that work ethic there, that whatever you want for, you have to go after it yourself. No one is coming to save you. You have to do it yourself. At the same time, we're living in a time where there's so much information available online. You can, if you're an artist, you should be spending so much time watching these interviews by artists who've already made it, telling you how they did their come up. You're like, oh, okay, that's what they did. That's what they did. How can I do that myself? I think I sent that song at first to like 1,500 DJs. I got so many emails to send it out to radio stations, blogs, all these different things. And again, following up, and trying to push it as much. So you realize the more you create the momentum, the more it slowly starts, picking up on its own.
That is pretty big. You know, and okay, so let me just explain why this is all just like a big deal and quite shocking. Is because, you know, DJ Fully Focused, for those of you who do not know him, he made history by being the first East African, I think it was it first African DJ to have a residency in Vegas, or was it first East
The first
African?
Afrobeats DJ. The only other person who
Yeah.
had a residency is Black Coffee.
That's
And we had the
this
same
is
year.
in Vegas.
Yeah, yeah, we both had billboards actually.
On the strip.
On the strip, yeah.
That is, I can't even imagine. And so you've met all the biggest stars in the world at this point. You know, if there's a star that you love, if there's an artist that you love so much, who lives in the US, he's probably been, you know, hanging out with Focus at some point. And so for you to come back and you're like, you know what, I don't, like, all those accolades don't mean anything. I am here for a different, you know, sort of like task and job.
Yeah.
And now I want to push this music. And then, you know, seeing your efforts actually, you know, result to the success of this song. How did that make you feel? Did it sort of like give you that stamp of approval, like, yes, I am on the right track, and
Absolutely.
now I have to start going to the club from Monday?
Absolutely, because again, when you're entering a new lane, you don't know. You have an idea of what you want, but you really don't know how it's gonna pan out.
You're
and again,
sure.
you have to humble yourself to be to starting a new fresh. You know, there's a saying I like that says, "Don't confuse your Fs." Right? Don't confuse your followers from your fans and your fans from your friends. Followers watch what you do. Fans pay for what you do. Friends support you regardless. And so what happens is when you're moving different lanes, you think everybody who's been following is going to follow you into this new, but it doesn't pan out that way. It's like you have to build a whole musical audience. They don't necessarily just translate. So that's one of the hard things that I had to accept, and I'm still accepting. I'm still making mistakes. I'm still building from scratch. I'm still building my channels slowly but surely. But one thing about me is I'm Kipchoge. I'm a marathon runner. I will get it regardless.
You
it's
will
going to
get it.
happen. Okay? In
There you
12
go.
months, the conversation will be completely different.
And I think it's because you are so open to learning.
Absolutely.
You don't claim to know everything, so you are like
Absolutely.
a sponge, and you're learning and you're learning.
100%.
And I think that, you know, with the African ambassador, people will see what that is all about. So tell me about it. So this is just a whole journey through Africa.
Yes. So again, so the last decade, I spent so much time fighting for, you know, Afrobeats to be in the mainstream, whether it's breaking, you know, doing Wizkid's first show in the US, whether it's bridging cultures of putting Timaya together with Sean Paul, you know, Afrobeats and dancehall, whether it's doing Sauti Soul's first US tour, whether it's doing the Major Lazer mixtapes for Africa is the Future, or the Vegas stuff you talked about, whether it's launching my own music festival, which is the first multicultural festival in Atlanta and possibly the US. But after I did all that, Afrobeats has now finally cracked open, amazing things happening across the world. So I said, what's the next, you know, thing that I'm going to, because that assignment now is done. What can I do? And I started looking, I'm like, okay, fine. Afrobeats is getting a lot of recognition, but there's a lot more to Africa than just one country or two countries getting all the shine. And I said, how can I use my talent, my resources, and my relationships to help the world see what else is available in Africa, so that we can discover a lot more talent that's across the continent, to show the world the diversity of sounds, as well as highlight the next big artists.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. You talking about, you know, just putting Africa forward. You've seen these comments online. People are not very happy to see all of these international artists try to collabo with African artists and try to like take over all these songs from Kulosa to Calm Down. What are your thoughts though, real quick, before I let you go?
Yeah, for sure. So you have to understand that, first of all, it's a great thing because as these records are growing and as these records are becoming very big, as much as we are in the noise and we get to be attached to these songs, there's a big part of the world that still is discovering African music right now. And with these remixes, what it does, it helps open up new audiences who may not have heard. So when a Selena Gomez or a Ed Sheeran or a Justin Bieber collaborates with these artists, their fan base now gets to be curious about what is this African music and everything. And the reason why that's important, when you see Burna and Wiz filling out these arenas, it's not just purely Africans. You still have other audiences. So you do need the world. You do need them because they buy tickets and they stream and they do this. So it's actually a good thing. What I love about it is we've shifted from where it used to be paying the artists to the major artists to be on it, to now them coming to want that. That's the big shift. You have to understand. That's a big change. That's a big change.
You have to pay a big bank too. A lot of money. A lot of money.
Yes.
Okay, so before you leave, you've got a big event coming up. I mean, you have a couple of them. 18th December in Kigali.
Yes.
You're going to be in SA tomorrow. Is that true?
No, actually, we pushed that till
Oh,
January.
you pushed that, okay.
Yeah.
And then 24th, you're going to be in Accra, 31st in Diani. So
Yes.
real quick, tell us about it.
Sure. The name of the event is
then
Passport
I'm done.
Experience.
Yeah.
It's a 2-day event
Yes.
for New Year's, December 31st and January 1st at the Diani Reef Hotel. It's a DJ-driven event where we make you feel like you're taking a musical journey around the world. I'll be playing, DJ Puffy will be playing, Poison Ivy will be playing, John Rabah will be playing, DJ Adrian will be playing, and so on and so forth. So New Year's, amazing event, pxpfest.com. Also want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been supporting African Ambassador, available on all platforms right now.
Oh, it's available already?
It's already
right
available.
now.
It just came out,
Okay.
yes. So it's available on all platforms right now. We have
Yeah.
artists from Shoma Josie to Niniola to Vanessa M. Day to Nyashinsky to
Kwame,
Bien to
Fit for
Kwame Eugene,
Micah,
Fit for
Slap
Micah,
D,
so many more.
Georgie,
You will love it.
Davis D. So many people.
So many.
So many people.
Yes.
All right. So if you're all about, African music and you love Afro beats and you want to support, just these talented acts, please make sure that you cop this album, The African Ambassador by Fully Focus. Get it right now. As he said, it's on all of the platforms. Thank you so much, Focus.
Thank you so much for
I really
having me.
appreciate. I'm gonna catch you in like an hour.
We'll
You know what I
do.
mean?
We'll
You know what I
do.
mean?
We'll
You
talk.
know,
I know where.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Love.
Next
Thank
time
you.
he comes through, he has to DJ for us. Because what? Have
Done
you ever
deal.
heard
Done deal.
Focus play? Have
Done
you
deal.
ever? All right, so right now, DJ E, we've got Abbas Kubaf who's coming through to the studio. I cannot explain to you how excited I am to be talking to him. It's been way too many years. I can't wait to talk about what he's been up to, what projects he's got coming out, why he decided to leave the country, and all of that good jazz. Okay, that's coming up at the Trend Live. The hashtag is Amina Osodo, ready to read your social media messages as well. Don't go anywhere. All right, so DJ E, am I requesting a song or no?
No.
Oh, no?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, take it away then.
Shots to the cuz. Nyaja, 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 nyaja. Nyaja, 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 nyaja. Ninatafuta kadem